Hey everybody, welcome to Masters Fantasy Week 15 Dynasty Waiver Wire Show. My name is Jonathan. I'll be hosting this show. I'm a commish here at one of the commissions here at Masters Fantasy Football Leagues. I'm joined today by CEO and owner John Beast, two of our draft coordinators. Here at Masters Fantasy Football Leagues, we have over 600 Dynasty leagues. We are the premier destination for Dynasty football. We're actually adding at least 50 more leagues this year. So if you're looking for a place to play, come be a part of the Masters family with us. We've scoured the waiver wire, looking for some pickup players that you could use maybe the rest of this year, and also some stash players that you can, put on your bench and use them for next year. It happens every single year. Guys end up on the waiver wire and end up getting drafted in rookie drafts. Perfect example last year, Corey Davis, among many of other guys. I'm going to jump right into it with our first guy. Who wants to go first?
I can go. So one stash I have, and I feel like this guy's been dropped a lot, is Lynn Bowden, which we were talking about before this. He's into a role now where he's getting more opportunity for the Dolphins at receiver. I mean, we all know it was kind of weird that he got dropped by the Raiders after they drafted him relatively high. So I feel like he's probably a free agent in most of these dynasty leagues, even though he's a rookie. But I mean, I liked what I saw when I watched that Dolphins game the other day. And, Devontae Parker, Jakeem Grant, those guys, I mean, they're banged up pretty frequently. His role is going to be pretty big in these final however many games where Miami's pushing for a playoff spot and holding on to it. And then going forward, I mean, if he performs well in these 3 games, I really like his potential. I mean, he can do a lot of things, running back, receiver. I mean, he even had a couple opportunities to throw the ball. So, I mean, he could do it all. So that's something that we really want to look at. And I think Lynn Bowden's that guy. I'd pick him up if you can.
Yeah, great pickup. One of the guys I actually had written down. Last 2 games, 4 for 41, 7 for 82. And look, man, Tua's looking for his weapons right now. So, I mean, if him and Tua establish a connection, I mean, I expect that to carry over into next season. I mean, he may never be like a dominant number 1 wide receiver, right, but he could be a little PPR monster. And he's actually a guy I really like, too. Mm-hmm. And I like his intelligence, too, a guy that played quarterback in college. I mean, I just think that has to translate well on the field.
Absolutely.
So I really like that pickup.
Unless Welker, Julie Elementai.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah?
Perfect. All right, next one up.
Hey, I've got one too, and this is, again, really these deep stashes. You don't want to have too many of these guys because you will never win a game. But you're looking for somebody that might come through, and there's a player that might come through in a big way. He is available on most waiver wires. Is that Donovan Peoples-Jones from the Cleveland Browns? Yeah. Coming out of high school, he was a top 5 wide receiver. Coming out of high school, going into colleges, he did play at Michigan. He was also recruited by Ohio State, amongst many other schools. He didn't play that. He didn't have big stats at Michigan. He's not had big stats here in the NFL yet either. However, his SPARQ score at the NFL Combine was number 1. He's a 99th percentile. There was nobody better than him, which is really what led him to getting drafted. He has. He doesn't have many catches. He got 10 catches, 14 targets, but he's averaging over 17 yards a target. It's pretty impressive. 20% of his catches have gone for touchdowns. You immediately look, last week he was 3 catches, 75 yards. 2 weeks ago he's 2 for 93. This is a big play wide receiver. Hopefully he gets to keep it going with Baker, and he should probably just sit there on the waiver wire right now.
Yeah, I like that a lot, especially as a Browns fan.
Yeah,
I'd love for Donovan Peoples-Jones to pan out. He's flashed it. We saw the Titans week, that beautiful out and up he ran for a long touchdown. And even in the game just last night, started to make a couple more plays. So a lot of reason to be excited about Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Yeah, I agree. I think both those receivers, too. I actually looked through some Dynasty leagues. I mean, Higgins is available in some, too. So I think you could look at either one of those guys as great Dynasty stashes.
Yeah, so I'll keep it going with a 3rd straight wide receiver for our Dynasty stashes. And I think I've mentioned him once on one of our podcasts before, but that's Darnell Mooney of the Chicago Bears. He's a young guy who's got a lot of speed to him. He's fast. He creates separation. We know the turmoil at quarterback for the Bears, so in that sense it hasn't been great, but at least there's room for improvement there. And on top of that, we know Allen Robinson's in the last year of his deal. There's been some serious disconnect between Allen Robinson and their front office. So I know they have Anthony Miller there, but Anthony Miller and Mooney have kind of had equal roles this year, and I would even say that Mooney has impressed me more. When I've watched the Bears, it seems like He always gets separation. He's been missed on a few big plays, but he's a guy that excites me, and especially if Allen Robinson leaves, I think he immediately would then have value. You could even flip him early in the offseason, but grab him now while you can.
Yeah, it's a great take because some of these guys, I think, even if you're not in love with the player, I think, these are guys you might be able to flip for like a second-round pick.
Absolutely.
Once
Once free agency happens, depth charts start changing, then you can easily flip a guy you just got for free.
I completely agree. And just one guy I had written down here, I was looking today, Dan Arnold, Arizona tight end. He's a guy I got my eye on. For some of the same reasons I said with Tua and Lynn Bowden. With some of these young quarterbacks, I'm always looking to see who they're establishing a connection with. Last two, he has 4 touchdowns. I think in the last 4 weeks, he has 4 touchdowns. Kyler Murray's looking at him in the red zone. He's 25 years old. I'm positive he's most likely on your waiver wire. A guy that may be worth going to pick up. I really like Dan Arnold.
When you're looking for deep stashes like this, the thing to look for too is the quarterback that's going to be throwing the ball. Obviously, you can't get any better than Kyler Murray.
That's why I like him.
And I got time, and Mike there too.
Yeah.
That you want guys attached to these guys.
Yeah, keep an eye on these young guys and what's going on around them because things are going to be changing on the depth chart depending on what makes Tua, what makes Kyler Murray comfortable.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
Speaking of tight ends, I actually got 2 more tight ends who are just very similar stages of their career. A lot of them are on your free agent pool in dynasties, and that's 2 first-round busts and David Njoku and O.J. Howard. Obviously, O.J. Howard tore his Achilles this year, so he was dropped mainly because he was hurt. But Njoku, kind of got demoted to the 3rd-string tight end for the Browns, which actually flashed a little bit last night. But both of these guys, I think they're still under contract for 1 more year, but could easily be traded or signed in free agency within the next couple of years to a very favorable landing spot. And there's reason these guys were first-round picks. Have they been perfect? No. Is Njoku perfect? No. But, he's athletic. He's super young. He's got a long career ahead of him still, most likely. So if he lands in a good spot, I bet on the talent and the potential to get a couple tight ends like this for free today who, they were worth a first-round rookie pick at a time,
Njoku and
right,
and
yeah,
O.J. Howard, both of them were.
Exactly. So just cash in on the opportunity to get them for free, hope that, they reach their potential, and at least even if they get halfway there, it'll be worth your pickup now.
Right, both guys definitely look the part.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
And hitting on a tight end, that's really big. You're getting some good. Some of these tight ends are going to hit. You got Komet's going to hit. One of them, Troutman from Harrison Bryant, another player from Cleveland.
Right.
One of these guys is going to hit, and if they're on your roster, you just pick them up for free now.
Yeah, definitely. I was actually going to bring up Komet too. That's a guy. That situation's only going to get better for him. I actually have another deeper stash. For me, it's Jarrett Stidham, and I know that's not the sexiest pick, but I don't know. It seems like to me like the whole Cam Newton New England relationship is kind of weird. I don't really see it going forward. And not to say that Cam Newton's been that bad. I just don't think it's a sustainable relationship. I think they're going to go in a different direction. And Stidham right now is the guy that they might trot out there. He's already come in for Cam Newton twice this year. I think it's worth the stash. On the off chance that he ends up being just one of those guys that the Patriots find that isn't that great, but he just happens to be on the field and make plays for you. You could get him for absolutely free right now. I don't think anybody owns him, so you could probably go get him, and it's worth the stash. Maybe he's a starting quarterback next year. So if you're hurting for quarterback, I don't see why not.
Yeah, there you go. He just gave you a 0% owned guy.
Yeah, there you go.
Probably.
That's
like
deep.
that. Yeah.
It's as deep as it gets.
Speaking of the New England quarterback situation, assuming that Cam's not there next year, you think that might be a good landing spot for Mr. Wentz.
I like that a lot.
Yeah,
And Bill's kind of known for protecting his quarterbacks, so I think it's what Cameron needs.
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody else here surprised that the Cam Newton-Bill Belichick relationship lasted this long? Just a little shy. I expected it to blow up any week. There was actually another quarterback you talked about quite a bit you thought was going to New England last year. Any chance he makes his return to the NFL?
If you run a dynasty, you got a really, really deep dynasty league. We're talking 30 players deep, or at least 25. You might just want to go to take a stab at Andrew Luck. I got 100 million reasons for him to sign back up with someone.
Yeah.
All right.
I like it.
Yeah, and I agree with them, but I don't think you have to be 30 deep. As a commissioner in some of these leagues, I've been through some of your guys' rosters, and they're terrible. Like, some of these guys definitely have a spot for Andrew Luck. Anybody else?
I've got all mine out.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this edition of our Dynasty Waiver Wire. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next week for our Week 16. Thank you.